2006, and I had the idea to open a new comic book store, one that sort of focused a little bit more on customer service, definitely on mainstream comic books, and also more on pop culture, and opened in 2007, January 1st is when we began. My name is Jay Bosworth, and I'm the owner of Maximum Comics. I really knew that I wanted Maximum Comics to do more than just be a comic book store. I wanted to reach out to the community and really build a strong comic book fan base. I knew that Las Vegas had a bunch of people in it that loved comic books, and so my purpose was to provide them a space to share their love of comics, but also to go beyond that, to go out in the community, to have events at the theaters, to do things at the library, to do things at schools. At Maximum Comics, we're all about three things: comics, customers, and community.
We use social media as something that we really take advantage of, and that's something in this day and age you have to be. First, why not? It's free. Now let's hit the masses. Social media, Facebook, we use Twitter, I tweet. We are constantly in the ear of people and spreading the word, and then, since we put out a great product, people love the energy here, they spill it all over the place. Las Vegas is really awesome as well for the comic industry. There's a lot of shops in your town, a lot of competition, but people in Las Vegas love their comic books, man, and we do really well.
Comic book sales today are very different from what they were back in the 90s even. When I was young, I worked in a comic book store in high school, right about the death of Superman, so about 92, 93, and it seems tons of people were buying comics, but they weren't buying them because they loved comics, they were buying them to collect them for the future, a future investment. When that market really shifted and changed at the end of the 90s, you saw the hardcore reader fan base embrace comics, and comic sales have steadily grown. With the popularity of all the movies, of course, that's really grown the comic book readership. Shows like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, even Sons of Anarchy, things like that are really bringing people into the comic book stores to try something new. And so we see our hardcore fan base still there, but our larger growing customer base are people who've never read comic books before but are finding us through movies and TV shows. So it's a very interesting mix from what it used to be. The store needs to look good, sound good, feel good, smell good, and taste good. I know that probably sounds odd, but all the five senses should be appealed to so that anybody walking in your store is instantly comfortable.
Something that I've noticed when I've gone to other comic book stores is that they're not quite as brightly lit, and I know that doesn't seem like a big deal for some people, but it's a lot more welcoming if things are very bright.
When I first started coming here, not as a worker, I was a customer. I used to chill in the front chairs we had at the Henderson store, and I used to sit around there, and I had nothing to do, I wasn't working, and I asked the then manager, Zach, if it was okay to hang out, and he goes, yeah, that's what they're there for, and that's awesome.
I think Maximum Comics makes it comfortable in here only because it's not like you're walking into a Target or a Walmart and being pushed through the store and buy your stuff, get out. It's very relaxed. Everyone, it's a sense of home. It's very, I don't know, welcoming. I don't even know how to put it. It might just be the fact that everyone's so happy and so excited about their jobs, and they don't sell things. They introduce you to things, and you feel bad about being broke, but you don't feel bad about being broke after walking out of the store. You're about as happy as you can be because it's like Christmas Day every Wednesday, and they're Santa.
I would say I have really high expectations for all of my staff at all of my stores. Every other person walking through the door is someone looking for a job because it's everyone's dream to work in a comic book store, if you're a comic book fan, I guess. It really has to be communicating with people. I can teach you about Spider-Man's origin, I can teach you about running a register, but I can't teach you to connect with a person automatically, and that's what I'm looking for. So when you come in my stores, hopefully you're greeted by a very friendly employee that's outgoing, that can strike up a conversation, and that's polite. If you have those natural abilities, I can pretty much teach you anything else of those other qualities on the list.
I've been working at Maximum Comics for just under a year. I started a little bit after Free Comic Book Day, and I had been volunteering for a good while. I'd been a customer here for about two and a half years before.
God, I've been working at Maximum Comics now for about a little over 3 years. Now, I've been working almost 3 years, but I've been hanging around the store for about 4. To tell you the truth, I love working for Maximum Comics. I love working with comics. It's a chill job. We have a lot of fun. I mean, there's not one day that I do not look forward to coming to work, and I truly mean that. And everybody always thinks that I haven't made it. I can make a living doing this, and I'm gonna keep doing it. That classic saying about if you love what you're doing, you're never really gonna work, and it's true.
I've been volunteering at Maximum Comics for about 2 years now. And yeah, Free Comic Book Day last year was the first time, and I've volunteered again for Free Comic Book Day this year. And I usually try and volunteer for as much as possible for the comic shop.
Again, we don't treat it just like it's just a regular, like a job. The people who work here love comics, so it shows.
I love comic books, but I love talking with people about comic books almost as much. And so I think that if I can do anything in this community lasting, it's to leave that impression on people that comic books are fun and that they do bring you entertainment but also happiness in an odd kind of way.
So it's easy to be, to really be real. To really be real. Like your inner nerd, like who you really are out. So it just shows all over the place. And when you learn something new, that's taking cool. Sometimes your customers teach you something and you learn something about, wow, I did not know that that's what happened in that comic book in Superman such and such. Oh my God, that was the first appearance? I didn't know that's where... I blew my mind not too long ago when I found out that Sabretooth, his first appearance was in Iron Fist. I mean, that was awesome. I was like, I always thought he would have been in a Mutant X-Men book.
I've been a customer for Maximum, pretty much exclusively Maximum, for about 1.5 years now. First got into comics, friends introduced me, and just so happened to be, they introduced me to Maximum first, and I didn't have a chance to really expose myself to any other shop. But when I finally did, I found there was pretty much no point because they do everything you need and help out with everything you want them to. It's not worth switching over to anywhere else for.
I definitely wear my emotions on my sleeve. So as far as when comic books come concerned, I get excited. I remember when I first read Old Man Logan, and we had like 10 books in stock. I was able to really push those out there. And not by trying to push to make a sale, but because I wanted to share how awesome the story was.
Comic books becoming more popular has made it a lot easier to be a comic book nerd. It's become an accepted like nerdism that people don't judge you for anymore. It's not something that people will look at you and be like, oh gosh, he likes comic books, that's weird. Like they look at you and they're like, oh gosh, you go to that same store I do? I didn't even realize.
But when you go into a certain shop, especially a specialty store, and you feel like you're bothering them, you know what I mean? You're a customer and you don't want to ever feel like you're bothering somebody. So we're really real here. I'm really real. And like again, it's fun.